The 110th session of Synod of the Anglican Diocese of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands was declared open last week, October 18th, at Christ Church Cathedral in Nassau, Bahamas. 6 Synod delegates formed the Turks and Caicos contingent that made up 212 delegates along with priests and lay clergy at this momentous event. Also in attendance was Governor His Excellency Gordon Weatherill. According to Bishop Blaise Boyd, this visit is a further indication of the bond which the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas share as members of one diocese, and of the bond which both countries have historically and culturally, and by migration particularly over the last 6 decades. Also on that note, Bishop Boyd spoke on the challenges we face here in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
As a diocese, we remain concerned about the challenges facing our brothers and sisters in the Turks and the Caicos Islands. As you know, the British government suspended that territory's constitution last year as a result of alleged financial and procedural irregularities on the part of some officials and civil servants. This suspension and the ensuing investigation continue to cause alarm, uncertainty, and embarrassment among Turks and Caicos Islanders. It is a very trying period in the life of the territory. We truly sympathize and offer our encouragement. But you know something? We have to realize that the British government is also in a pickle. That government is ultimately responsible for her 14 remaining dependent territories. And at the end of the day, the citizens of those territories ultimately look to that government to make up for every deficit. They demand that Mother England be there for them, and so they should. So that government now finds itself faced with a mess that it did not create, and now must exercise its best stewardship in getting to the bottom of it. It is not a good position to be in at all.
The bishop of the diocese encouraged Turks and Caicos Islanders to have patience and forbearance. He said to pursue honesty, justice, and right procedure, transparency, and accountability. Meanwhile, also bringing greetings was Governor His Excellency Gordon Weatherill.
I'm honored and delighted to be with you today on this special occasion to celebrate this pontifical concelebrated Eucharist, marking the opening of the 110th session of the Synod of the Diocese of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, and ushering in, as His Excellency pointed out, the 150th year of the diocese. Thank you, Bishop, for your very warm welcome, and may I thank you also on behalf of the representatives of the clergy and of the congregation in the Turks and Caicos Islands who are here with me today. Thank you also for the words of encouragement and inspiration in your very wise sermon. History, geography, culture, the peoples themselves of the two countries have linked the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Bahamas and their peoples inextricably together. These links, institutional and human, are manifold. In some cases, they have run their course, such as the common bench of the Court of Appeal, which the two countries shared until relatively recently. Others have endured and continue to grow and flourish, and this church is a prime example. And of course, these institutional links are underpinned by those increasingly forged by the two peoples. In the last generation or two in particular, the Turks and Caicos Islands community in the Bahamas has grown to the point, I'm told, where it rivals that in the Turks and Caicos Islands themselves. Then it was heartwarming to hear from you, Bishop, of the contribution which they are making in the Bahamas.
For WIV4 News, I'm Takara Bain.